Going into the 2025 offseason, the Miami Dolphins find themselves in an all-too-familiar position, needing to reload on defense. But this time, it's not just a minor tweak or a depth piece they're looking for. This time, the issue is glaring, unavoidable, and frankly, borderline alarming. The safety position? It barely exists on this roster. Technically, Patrick McMorris is under contract, but let's not kid ourselves. He played in 6 games last season and recorded 1 tackle. That's not a player you build a secondary around. That's not even a player you confidently slot into a rotational role at this point. So here's the reality. The Dolphins need safeties. Plural. And not just any safeties. They need playmakers, enforcers, tone setters. Because in today's NFL, you either have a back end that creates turnovers and makes quarterbacks second-guess their decisions, or you have a back end that gets exposed. There's no in-between. So what do? They could go all in on the draft, but let's be real. Banking on a rookie to immediately stabilize a position that currently has 0 proven starters is a risky bet. That means free agency is where they need to strike. And there's one name that should be at the top of their list, Jeremy Chinn. If you're a fan of defenses that hit hard, fly to the ball, and make life miserable for opposing offenses, then Jeremy Chinn is your guy. The former Washington Commanders and Carolina Panthers safety is everything Miami needs right now. He's battle-tested, entering his age 27 season with a resume that speaks for itself. Last year, he played in all 17 games, racking up 73 solo tackles, 2 sacks, a forced fumble, and 2 interceptions. Those aren't just solid numbers. Those are game-impacting plays. Now, let's put that side by side with what the Dolphins got from their safeties last season. Javon Holland and Jordan Poyer, both talented in their own right, combined for just 1 forced fumble, 1 sack, and 0 interceptions. 0. That's not just a drop in production. That's an indictment on the lack of playmaking from Miami's secondary. Chinn, on the other hand, was all over the field, consistently around the ball, disrupting plays, and giving his team a reliable presence in both run support and pass defense. He was one of the top 15 safeties in the league in stops, sacks, and pass rush snaps, per Pro Football Focus. Miami had no one close to that level of production in 2024. The best part about adding Chinn, he's a seamless fit for what Miami wants to do defensively. New defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver is expected to bring a more aggressive, versatile approach, and if there's one thing Chinn thrives in, it's versatility. This is a guy who started his career as a linebacker before transitioning into more of a safety role, and that hybrid skill set makes him a nightmare for offenses. He can play deep. He can come down into the box and stuff the run. He can line up in the slot as a big nickel and take on tight ends or even bigger receivers. You need a safety who can blitz and create pressure? Chinn can do that too. There's no one-dimensional aspect to his game. He's a true chess piece. Now, imagine pairing him with a younger safety from the draft, someone like Malachi Starks, Lathan Ransom, or Xavier Watts. You'd have the perfect mix of experience and youth, with Chinn acting as the stabilizing force while the rookie develops. That's how you build a sustainable secondary. And let's talk about Jalen Ramsey. The Dolphins already have one of the most versatile defensive backs in the NFL, someone who can play corner, safety, inside, outside, you name it. Adding Chinn would give Miami 2 players who can move around like that, making the defense incredibly unpredictable. One play, Chinn's in the box, and Ramsey's deep. The next, they swap roles. How do offenses prepare for that? The answer, they don't. They guess. And when offenses start guessing, defenses start winning. Beyond playmaking and versatility, there's another area where Chinn would immediately improve this defense, tackling. Miami's secondary had issues last year with finishing plays. Missed tackles turned short gains into big plays, and when those start adding up, it costs games. Chinn is a surefire tackler. He doesn't hesitate. He doesn't get caught flat-footed. He arrives with intent. And if Ramsey continues to play with the same physicality we've seen from him throughout his career, the Dolphins would suddenly go from a team struggling to stop ball carriers to a team that punishes them. That's an identity shift. That's a culture change. Here's the thing about Chinn. He's not just a productive player. He's a leader. And that's exactly what Miami needs in their secondary right now. Javon Holland was supposed to be that guy, but with his departure looming, the Dolphins are at risk of losing a key voice in their defensive backfield. That's not something you can afford when you're trying to build a championship-caliber defense.